All right, let's talk about something that trips up so many English learners. Have versus have got. They seem pretty much the same, right? But are they? When do you use one over the other? Well, stick around, because we're going to make this super, super clear. So, imagine this. You're talking to someone. Do you say, I have an idea, or do you say, I've got an idea? They both get the point across, sure, but choosing the right one, that's what makes you sound really natural. Let's figure this out once and for all.
Okay, let's dive right in. I'm going to start you off with one simple, powerful rule that honestly covers most situations. So are they the same? The short answer is kinda yes, kinda no. Let me show you what I mean. And here it is, the main takeaway. When you're talking about stuff you own, your relationships, or maybe you're not feeling well, things like having a car, a sister, or a headache, have got is just a more informal, more conversational way of saying have. The meaning is exactly the same, but the feeling, the tone, is different.
This is a perfect illustration of that change in tone. Look at the left side. That's your more formal, often written English. I have. Her father has. Now look at the right. That's how people actually talk. I've got. Her father's got. Same information, totally different vibe, right?
So now that you've got the main idea, let's look at where things can get a little tricky. Because while the meaning is pretty straightforward, the grammar, well, that can be a bit of a trap. This is where a lot of learners stumble, especially when it comes to questions and negatives. Okay, you're going to want to pay close attention here. This is probably the most important grammar rule in this whole thing. When you use have all by itself, you need a little helper, the verb do, to make questions and negatives. Do you have? I don't have. But with have got, the have part is its own helper verb. So you just say, have you got? And I haven't got. Trying to say something like, do you have got a car is a really common mistake, so nail this down.
So, seems pretty simple, right? Use have got to be informal when you're talking about possession. But you know English, it just loves its exceptions. There are definitely some specific times when using have got is just wrong and will make you sound a bit unnatural.
And this right here is your cheat sheet for avoiding those common mistakes. Let's run through them. First, actions. You have a bath or you have lunch. You never have got them. Second, for habits or things you do often, just stick with have. You'd say, I often have meetings, not I often have got meetings. It's also way less common in the past tense. And this last one is super important. Never use got in a short answer. If someone asks, have you got a minute? The correct answer is simply, yes, I have, not yes, I've got.
And now for a really interesting twist. This whole have versus have got thing isn't just about being formal or informal, it's also about geography. You see, British English and American English have historically had different preferences, but things are starting to get a little mixed up.
So traditionally in the UK, have you got was the go-to for a specific one-time thing. But as you can see, American English, which almost always prefers do you have, has had a huge influence. Nowadays, you're just as likely to hear, do you have a meeting today in London as you are in New York? The lines are definitely getting blurry. Okay, so after all that grammar, let's circle back to the biggest question. Why does any of this really matter for you? Well, it's all about mastering those little details that let you sound more authentic and natural, no matter who you're talking to. So here's what it all boils down to. It's about having control over your tone. Knowing you should use the simple have for more formal stuff, like an email, and then switching to the friendly everyday have got in a conversation, that gives you power. It's really the difference between sounding like you're reading from a textbook and sounding like you're just chatting with a friend. I love this quote because it reminds us that language isn't just a set of rules carved in stone. It's a living, breathing thing that's always changing, shaped by culture and how we use it every single day. The rules we've talked about are just a snapshot of how things are right now.
And that brings us to a final thought to chew on. As English keeps spreading across the globe, things tend to get simpler. So, what do you think is going to happen? Will the easy do you have construction just take over completely? Or will that classic British have you got stick around? The answer is being decided right now, in every single conversation. Thanks for listening.